Hey kids, you're about to listen to a comedy podcast. That means that none of this is medical advice. If you need medical advice or medical care, please contact your doctor.
Welcome to the Jock podcast,
where we discuss fitness and health and how to incorporate our modern understanding of science and medicine into our daily lives without it being so boring. I'm your host, drlondonsmith.com. I'd like to begin by apologizing to our listeners. We've received some feedback about the excessive amount of technical medical terms that I've been using, such as arteriovenous nicking and tech yes. So I'll try to temper my terminology to a simpler one in the future. Here to help with that is our producer, Cameron.
Dr. London, we are in the midst of summer right now. Ooh, it's hot outside.
Oh, burning.
Oh, it's burning. And I've noticed something with a lot of our listeners that I feel like we should address. A lot of our listeners, when they attempt to swim in the pool, not anything they're doing you could actually consider swimming.
You mean whenever they use it as a toilet? Because,
I would say just any and all of their actions within the pool or outside of the pool could not possibly be described as swimming, which is interesting because, to me, anyone is swimming if they're just sort of in the pool, right? You're like, oh, I went swimming earlier. You just kind of have to stand in the pool. And our listeners don't even understand that sort of basic grasp. So I was hoping we could maybe, just real quick, top of the episode, just to get it out of the way, cover some, pool tips, swimming tips, just to make sure our listeners actually understand what the purpose of it is. And yeah, like you said, they're using it as a toilet. They're using it as a phone. A number of them have been using it as a phone. And the logistics of that are terrible.
Yeah. No, so, first one for me is the toilet issue. So what will happen, whenever I go to the pool and I dip my toe in and I'm saying ooh, is that too cold? Is that too warm? Is that too just right? And what our listeners will often do is the same thing, but they don't trust their toes. So they use their rear ends to test the water. And then they grab the whatever object they can to hold on, and just reflexively, because that's a position they know well, they begin to excrete waste. They urinate, and it's it's hard to be mad whenever that is the reflex.
It's a position they know well, and it's also a sensation that they're used to because they're so used to lifting both the toilet seat and the actual seat up and just sitting directly in the toilet because they don't really understand how that works either. But we cannot cover both today. We can't spend time on toilet etiquette today.
Yeah. So pool etiquette, not toilet etiquette, and they're gonna get confused at that. But but yes. To the next point, as you brought up, the phone situation. So I know what I've heard the most is that our listeners will say, "Well, it's a long distance call." As if that is an explanation for it.
Well, I've seen a lot of people say, I've got a work call, and then they just sort of walk towards the pool in that direction, which I don't care for. I've seen a number of our listeners say, I have to call my mom, and they take a bean can and attach it to a string and then throw that into the pool. And they just sort of speak into that, and they keep going, oh, and then they say, oh, my mom's really sick. A lot of it seems to be sympathy based. All of it is confusing and disturbing to me. And so I would like to say no one is answering these calls. That's what I really would like to tell our audience, our listener base.
See, I don't know if they can take that. That's most of their social life. I don't want to rob them of what little they have. But you want to teach them, but you also don't want to devastate them with the knowledge of reality. So I guess remember to wear floaties at the pool. What else?
Yeah, I would say a big rule at a lot of public pools is no glass bottles, right? They don't want a bottle breaking. I would say to our listeners, no glass shards at all. A lot of our audience is bringing just pre-broken bottles, essentially, just large piles of glass shards to the pool to then toss it at the bottom of the pool because they say they like the texture of it. That really upsets the rest of the swimmers. And also, again, it doesn't seem to affect your swimming positively or negatively because, again, you're standing outside of the pool just with your butt in the water, or you're using the pool as a phone. Like, I really don't even see the point of the glass shards except for ruining it for everyone else. So I would say don't do that as well.
Yeah, no, I do agree on that point. And then, okay, I guess one more point. If you decide to smoke a cigar at the pool, don't pour gasoline first or oil, anything flammable first.
Oh, right. Yeah, you definitely can't do that. And if you are going to do that, you should leave quickly. Like, if you're going to dump a bunch of oil into the pool, just do it and go home. Like, you're done. Just don't let anyone see you do it, especially. I would like to add a sort of a sub point to that. If you are going to smoke a cigar at the pool, don't hog that baby. Pass it around. Let everyone get a puff in. Like, nothing is worse than a selfish cigar smoker. Let's all take a hit of that, baby.
Yes.
And later, Cameron tells me that we can expect a special guest.
That's right, Dr. London.
But before we move on, I would like to address a bit of listener feedback. So for a long time, our listener demographic was primarily composed of dog-dropping analysts. So I guess it was more of a numbers game for them. Just keeping track of dog droppings. But in our efforts to cater to them, we found that we were ignoring a lot of bot accounts. So we're trying to address them more now. So this one comes from a bot on YouTube. There's a comment on our snippet, if I fart on audio, will it be recorded? At Iraq Veteran 99 said, quote, "What the hell did I just watch?" End quote. So thank you so much for this feedback. I know Cameron has called me up a lot of times with the same question. So I think the first step is to figuring out, what you just watched is to see where you are. Figure out where you are. Because sometimes you're in a movie theater and the thing you just watched is a movie.
Well, I was about to say 99.9% of the time when I call you at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, "What the hell did I just watch?" You say, "Was it the Happy Gilmore, The Price is Wrong bitch scene?" And then I'm usually like, "Oh, okay, that was it." Because before you say that, sometimes I have no idea what's going on. I don't know why it's on my phone. I don't know why I'm seeing it. I don't know who these two people are, and I don't know what to do with this information. So just like when I typically don't know what to do with information, I go to a doctor about it. I go to Dr. London.
And normally I'd say please stop doing that. But whenever I've been too emphatic, you just call the police about it. And you're like, I have something to report because it's information. And you guys have a good chat, but I do feel like you've become so closely associated with local law enforcement through these phone calls that I feel like there's sort of a militia intent in your mind, and I want to keep away from that by you call me.
You think that via my calls to the police about the Happy Gilmore Price is Wrong bitch scene that I'm recruiting officers to join a militia?
I think this is what you end up talking about.
Yeah, and I guess my question is why are you asking this like it's a question as opposed to something I've told you about dozens of times?
Yeah, I know. I just, anyway, just to that listener, I hope that answers your question. And this next one comes from TikTok. It's a comment on our response to "My account was permanently fixed" by @LinusTechie. My main two-piece said, quote, "Am I geekin'?" End quote. So thank you so much for this feedback. And yes, you are geeking. This is a medical education podcast.
Yeah, and is that... Sorry, but I thought you were not supposed to give diagnoses through the podcast. Like, law enforcement really got onto you about that one.
Okay. Well,
so you're gonna just sit here and say yes, like I've looked at the numbers and you are geeking.
Okay. So please don't call them about this. Okay, I know that now you're thinking I have to report this, but just call me about it later, okay? Like, because I know your instinct now is to try to form a militia and report me. And I feel like you do take these things too far sometimes.
Well, the main thing I'm focusing on right now is what the hell is on my phone. I've got this crazy video. I got to call someone about it. So I'm either going to call you later about it, or I'm going to hit 911 and call them about it. So we'll see.
Okay. Well, I hope that answers your question, listener. And comment again. Now for today's medical topic, lupus nephritis. Lupus nephritis, or systemic lupus erythematosus, which is often abbreviated SLE, it's an autoimmune disease that can give any degree of renal involvement. So the kidneys in systemic lupus erythematosus can be normal or present with mild asymmetric proteinuria. That's protein in the urine. Severe disease presents with membranous glomerulonephritis. Long-standing systemic lupus erythematosus may simply scar the kidneys, and the biopsy, that's taking a little sample of it, that will show glomerulosclerosis, which has no active inflammatory component, but it may lead to such damage as to require dialysis, which is not great. That means a non-functioning kidney or poorly functioning.
This does not mean, I just really need to stress, this does not mean that any scar that's on your kidney has to do with whatever the thing is London's talking about. I wasn't really paying attention.
With SLE lupus, yeah.
You could have scars on your kidney for all sorts of reasons. For example, if you're conducting a lot of experiments on your own kidneys. If you're just trying to take a look, and it's really hard to take a look at your kidneys without like x-rays and stuff, so you gotta like get in there a bit. All of these situations can create scars that are not related to the thing, again, the thing that Dr. London's making up.
Yeah. So, and I guess in a sense, you are kind of talking about. So, biopsy is the most accurate test for lupus nephritis, not to diagnose it, but to determine the treatment based on the stage of that scarring. So, mild inflammatory changes may respond to glucocorticoids, okay? But severe proliferative diseases, such as membranous nephropathy, that will be treated with glucocorticoids combined with either cyclophosphamide or mycophenolate. So, just the greater severity, you have to check through a biopsy.
Yes.
We'll move on from there. All right, Cameron, you said that we have a special guest today. Is that right?
That's right, Dr. London. We have a very cool guest today.
Oh, okay. Wow. Well, there. My name is drlondonsmith.com, and this is our producer, Cameron. What was your name?
It's me. It's Sheila. Hi, London.
Oh
my God.
Hey. Wow.
Oh, you're so big.
You're here.
Oh.
That's comfortable for me to. Yeah. So remind me. Like, I know I know you've been saying that you need to get on here and kind of check in. But could you explain the circumstances?
Cameron, oh my gosh.
Hi, yes. No, I know. I've gotten so big as well.
Look at you big man. Oh my goodness. You boys. Well, you're not boys anymore, but you'll always be boys to me. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in my mid-30s now, but last time you saw me, I was just a kid in my early 30s, so it's,
I've gotten a little taller, yeah.
I've grown up quite a bit. I've learned a lot about life. But hi, Sheila, hi, how are you?
Oh, that beard, I just want to rub some oil in it. It looks so good.
Oh, yes.
God.
And it's already so oily as well, but I could just be dripping.
I just want, London. Now, I did want to see you, but how is Luann? How's your mom? I mean, she hasn't called me back.
Okay, sorry, just for the listeners, Sheila's been... to answer the question real quick, she's on a sailing voyage. Luann is, and she said she'd call, and that if she doesn't call back within a day or two, that something's wrong and I need to contact the pirate leader that she had met. And that was a few weeks ago. So, she's all right, I guess.
Oh, she did love to drink. Oh, she used to be so much fun. You don't even know. You just think we're just moms and we know how to have a good time.
Yeah. To clarify for the listeners, this is Sheila's, I want to say your family friend. I'm trying to remember just like how we got to know you.
Yeah, this is our guest today is Sheila Green, who, I don't. How do we know you? Because I want to say you're a family friend. It feels like you've always been in my life, but it's more like a specter haunting us than it is someone that my parents recognize or anything like that.
I love that. It's the specter. You remember me from the cruise, and now your mom's into the whole pirate scene.
Yeah,
that was so fun meeting you all there.
Yeah. I guess that's an answer.
We just became fast friends, didn't we?
I almost agree. So Cameron, do you remember exactly how we? So there was a specter, and it was Sheila, and I felt a little okay. What was it? The buffet? It was at the buffet that we met you.
Oh, where we met?
The shrimp, the endless shrimp. Oh, sorry. You tell it, Cameron. You tell it.
Yeah, no, it was just to call it a buffet is cool. We were on a shrimping vessel. We were on a shrimping boat, and so yeah, I would say everywhere was a buffet. Like the floor over here, the bathroom over here. It didn't matter because there was just shrimp available to be scooped up. But yeah, I would call the whole boat a buffet, and that is where we met. I think. Again, it's been so long. I mean, again, we're talking about my early 30s is when we actually met, which was oh my God, I was a kid. I was a child.
I'm trying to remember what you were like back then, and it's so zany. You were so full of energy, and could move a little bit back then.
Oh, I could get up. I could turn around. I could do all sorts of different movements.
In London, you were just not moving at all. And just, I did want to check. Are you having regular bowel movements now? I know that the ship
sunk, yeah.
Yeah, no, so they're regularly irregular, I think is the clinical way to put it. I definitely have had them, but they have ruined my reputation at a lot of house parties.
Oh, honey. Oh, my God. I'm having you over. That's it. Okay.
London was always known as the guy who would go to a house party and he would have a couple bowel movements 2 or 3 times. But then there were a number of times where that didn't happen and he didn't have any bowel movement at the house party at all. And so he became as the non-pooper. I bet London doesn't poop ever. I bet he can't do it. I thought he loved doing this. This was his favorite thing. And yeah, your reputation hasn't really recovered, I would say.
It's the thing of that's what I did in my 20s, my early 30s, my 40s. And now that I'm a little bit more mature in my 60s, I'm not doing so much of that. I would say if I had to pick a way my bowel movements were going, I'd say their own way.
You know what it is, boys? It's the e-bikes. It's the e-bikes. All the teenagers and the young people are riding them and not getting any exercise. Just zooming along.
Yeah, and I remember, okay.
Infuriates me.
I'm now trying to remember if this is where we met, because you had an e-bike protest that you organized, right? And yeah, and you kept okay, and you're pouring a drink. Okay, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's normal. All the wine moms out there, right? So what was I saying? Oh yes, you were protesting the e-bikes and you were organizing clotheslines so that you could unseat them while they were going at full speed, and at half speed. Were you arrested for that, or was that? How did that turn out?
Not all heroes wear capes, but I like to feel that I'm really protecting the bowels of the youth.
Right. Okay. Okay, I do remember reading that in the paper the next day. That it was all about the bowels of the youth, and the editorial column seemed about as confused by that as anyone who doesn't know you well and your, I was about to say obsession, but just your concern for our little bowels.
Sheila, I am wondering, why did you come visit us today? Like, usually I feel like anytime you come by to check in on us to make sure we're okay, it's because something's going wrong. Is there an issue?
Well, listen, I might have a little arthritis. A little prescription would help, a lot.
Yeah, okay, is this... So, and the drinking makes more sense now. Now I remember how I met you. How we met. So, this isn't the first time that you've had pains of some kind when you visited me, right? Like, today it's arthritis. But I think last time you said you just had so many lymph nodes.
Oh, yeah, I Googled it, and certainly it was traumatic for my system.
Right, and sorry, I say right, but I don't think that too many lymph nodes is usually like a medical issue.
And thank God you're a doctor. You sweetheart, you're so smart. Oh, you're so blessed. What a brain.
So, and look, flattery will get you a lot of play, but I don't think I could prescribe you the meds you want for you saying that, oh, I have this pain, whatever. Now, if you...
Right, I have to show you. I'll show you. Actually, just listen. Oh, you hear the popping? Do you hear the popping? That's a lot of arthritis. You're such a good doctor for making me prove that to you. You wouldn't be a good doctor if you didn't do that. I'm so proud of you.
The flattery is working pretty well. Okay,
Yeah, because I feel London being sort of seduced by yet another sort of demand to get you more pain meds. So I do want to step in. Before the lymph nodes, you said you were hurting because you had the pain of being pure at heart, which I really don't think is a medical condition at all. Before then, it was just a really vague foot thing. You said, oh, my foot. Oh, my gosh, my foot. All of these resulted in you receiving a huge amount of Vicodin.
Yes. Because of this genius right here, Dr. London Smith.
Well,
London, stop writing the prescription down.
Okay.
You can't just immediately write a prescription when someone says something like that.
Okay. Okay. I'm trying to think back to my medical training on what do we do when this happens. There was a song for that. When the patient says nice things,
you do what they ask. Oh, I taught you that one. Oh, you remembered. You precious darling.
You helped me study a lot in meds. That was on the flashcards, yeah.
You've been working out, haven't you? Look at that. Look at that arm muscle. God. Stop flexing.
Yeah.
London, I'm married. Stop.
No, I wasn't even flexing. Okay, well. Okay, Cameron, did you say you were going to stop me from... Because look, this prescription... Like, I'll barely write any of the prescription, okay? Just even barely, I'll write it.
It just takes a little touch. One little touch.
I'm sort of I'm disappointed. I mean, Sheila, you make it sound like you came around to like actually see us and like visit us and like, but yet again, it seems like it's all sort of built around the pain in your body and how can you alleviate that pain, and it happens to be 120 Vicodin pills. That's the solution.
Cameron, you sweetheart. I thought you were going back to therapy, but God, if I could just hold you in my arms and just hug out and reset your nervous system. Look, what your father did to you is upsetting, to say the least. And I know that it just brings up these emotions that you have to purge onto other people, and I can take it because I'm Sheila Green and I can take it, goddamn it, Cameron. You can put it on me, baby. Okay.
I mean,
Come here.
I was in therapy until my father did kill my therapist. And I don't know what to do anymore, because then my dad was sort of like, well, now I'm your therapist, because he said it was sort of a Santa Claus situation. So now I'm going to him for all my problems, but he's on his phone the whole time. He's playing Angry Birds, Temple Run,
Tap Tap Fish.
Tap Tap Fish 2048, not Flappy Bird, because that doesn't exist anymore, but the weird little rip-offs of it. And
Just need you to lay your head right here in the bosom.
Oh, okay.
Wait, no, Cameron.
What?
I have to save you from this. Don't do it.
I'm being enticed now. This is an issue.
Okay.
An issue of you wanting to help yourself and work through your traumas.
Yeah, I mean, yes, but
It is hard to do, and your body is fully going to reject it. So you need to accept it and move forward.
Oh, I guess that's a good response.
Is that good?
If naturally I shouldn't do something, that means I should do it.
I feel like we're being tricked again, but I don't know how. And being tricked feels nice and flattering. So I don't know. Do we So I'm going to stop writing the prescription. I'm going to stop doing that for a second. Because you
need a
Sheila's pouring us more wine. Okay. Let me just...
I need to drink a little of this every hour. I'm on the Jesus diet right now, London and Cameron.
Oh, so it used to be water?
You have no idea. Only wine, only water, only bread loaves. It's exhausting.
That was his way. And hey, it worked, right?
Stop being seduced by this medical siren, Dr. London. This is your job as a doctor, is to not be tricked by a patient coming in just for more Vicodin.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, what else do you want? Do you need
Yeah, that's the solution, is to ask, what else can I give you?
Well, listen. It's been a while for me and Steve, but I think we're ready, right? Ready to go on vacation again. And I think maybe we could bring you along, both of you.
Well, so the shrimp boat sunk, right?
Sure. We're just going to free dive this time. And then you don't have to be afraid of pooping in the water.
Oh, we're visiting the site of the shrimp boat. That is pretty good. That does sound like a vacation.
I barely heard a word, Cameron. I was so distracted by that sharp jawline.
Oh, wow. Oh, thank you. I can't write a prescription, but I wish I could. I just don't. I don't have a pen and paper or the legal power to do so. But
yeah,
I could get London to.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna. Okay, so how about let's plan to go hang out with Steve, and we'll go free diving. I'll hold off on the prescriptions for now. Let's yeah, I think we're at a good point to call it, right? All right, Sheila. So I think we'll see you on the boat, on the sunken boat. But is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to? Anyone you want to promote?
Well, my best friend's daughter, Kristina Citi. She is, such a blessing, and she started doing comedy recently. She has a funny little button.
Oh.
So yeah, she's doing little shows here and there in Los Angeles, if you can imagine. So you can, catch her. Shameless plug.
Does she have a socials?
Kristina with a K. Last name is Citi. Chidi. Doesn't sound like the bank.
Okay.
And does she need prescriptions as well? I mean, if she's getting into comedy, I feel like she probably needs a few, yeah?
You're trying to say that she can be beautiful and funny without no mental illness?
just without pills, you don't need a mental illness to take pills. You're just supposed to be doing it.
Oh my god.
Especially if you're like entertainment industry adjacent, you should be taking like 3-4 pills.
I just realized that's a fact. I just saw her and I feel like I was missing something in my purse. Oh my.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be it. But that's the industry for you.
Cameron, you blessing you. Thank you for alerting me to this, Cameron. You're so wise.
Oh, wow.
Okay, yeah. Well, everyone, check that out. Thank you so much to our guest, Sheila Green. Thank you to our producer, Cameron. Thank you to Did You Know the Host?